Nestled within the ancient hills and hollows of Appalachia lies a world where the past is never truly buried, and the land itself pulses with forgotten secrets. Old Gods of Appalachia, a critically acclaimed horror podcast created by Steve Shell and Cam Collins, weaves a tapestry of dread and resilience, blending Appalachian folklore with cosmic horror. Since its debut in 2019, the series has redefined the genre by grounding its terror in the region's history, labor struggles, and cultural identity, offering a narrative that is as socially conscious as it is spine-chilling. Roots in history and folklore. Appalachia, a region often mythologized for its isolation and rugged beauty, serves as both setting and character in Old Gods. The podcast opens with a prologue that frames the land as a place where things older than the gods slumber beneath the mountains, imprisoned by ancient forces. This mythos is not mere fantasy, but a reflection of the area's real-world scars. The exploitation of Appalachia's coal mines and forests by outsiders, a recurring theme, awakens these primordial entities, metaphorically linking environmental destruction to supernatural retribution. The series' first episode, The Witch Queen, introduces a matriarchal figure exiled to the wilderness, her survival dependent on arcane knowledge passed down through generations. Her pact with a demonic stag, offering immortality in exchange for servitude, mirrors the Faustian bargains made by Appalachian communities during industrialization. The land's exploitation by railroads and mining companies becomes a literal awakening of horrors, as if the earth itself seeks vengeance for its plunder. Labor, exploitation, and cosmic horror. Old Gods distinguishes itself by intertwining cosmic terror with critiques of capitalism. The podcast's universe is one where labor disputes and corporate greed are not just background noise, but catalysts for catastrophe. In episodes like Old Number 7, the logging town of Yellow Oak becomes a microcosm of Appalachia's struggles. Timothy Vanover, a hunter lost in a snowstorm, is saved by Dooley, an ageless woman bound to a mysterious entity known as the Beast. Her control over 6 silent men, a nod to the region's history of company towns and indentured labor, highlights the dehumanizing effects of industrialization. The podcast's villains are often not the eldritch abominations, but the men of progress, who strip mine both the land and its people. As noted in a Discover Pods review, the series portrays coal mines as gateways to hell, where the blood spilled in labor disputes fuels ancient evils. This duality of human and supernatural exploitation creates a layered narrative where horror emerges from systemic oppression as much as from otherworldly forces. Subverting stereotypes and centering marginalized voices. Traditional Southern Gothic tropes often romanticize or vilify Appalachia, reducing its people to caricatures. Old Gods dismantles these stereotypes by centering queer protagonists and marginalized voices. The Witch Queen, a queer character raised by a lineage of women practicing forbidden arts, embodies resistance against both patriarchal and colonial forces. Her story, as analyzed in a College of Charleston blog post, reclaims the Southern narrative from its homophobic and racist origins, offering a vision of Appalachia that is diverse and defiant. Similarly, Dooley's arc challenges the noble savage trope. Her pact with the Beast, while fraught with moral ambiguity, stems from a desire to protect her community from external threats. The podcast's nuanced portrayal of Appalachian life, emphasizing resourcefulness, familial bonds, and cultural pride, counters reductive depictions of the region as backward or insular. Anthology structure and mythos building. Though episodic, Old Gods constructs a cohesive universe through interconnected stories. Standalone episodes, such as The Boy Who Could Not Flee, explore individual tragedies that collectively underscore the region's fraught relationship with its past. The anthology format allows Shell and Collins to delve into varied aspects of Appalachian life, from coal miners confronting subterranean horrors to witches bargaining with forest spirits, while maintaining an overarching narrative of resistance and survival. The recurring motif of the family, a cryptic group tied to the land's ancient guardians, serves as a narrative linchpin. Characters like Dooley and the Witch Queen, though separated by centuries, are united by their roles in a cosmic struggle against forces that seek to consume Appalachia. This structure mirrors oral storytelling traditions, where fragmented tales coalesce into a shared mythology. Reimagining eldritch horror. Old Gods consciously diverges from Lovecraftian tropes, which often perpetuate xenophobia and existential nihilism. Instead, the podcast's horrors are rooted in tangible injustices. The eldritch entities here are not indifferent cosmic beings, but manifestations of human greed and environmental degradation. For instance, the Builders, shadowy figures responsible for industrial exploitation, are depicted as literal architects of doom, their factories and mines disturbing the land's slumbering gods. This subversion extends to the podcast's treatment of folklore. Appalachian traditions, such as granny magic and folk healing, are portrayed not as quaint superstitions, but as vital defenses against existential threats. The series' sound design amplifies this atmosphere, with haunting Appalachian ballads and ambient noises, creaking trees, distant pickaxes, immersing listeners in its world. Reception and cultural impact. Since its launch, Old Gods of Appalachia has garnered a dedicated following, praised for its rich storytelling and social relevance. Critics highlight its ability to mine pathos from history, discover pods, transforming regional trauma into art. The podcast's success has spurred a multimedia expansion, including a role-playing game and live performances, cementing its place in contemporary horror canon. Fans particularly resonate with its portrayal of Appalachia as a place of resilience rather than despair. As one listener noted, the series feels like a love letter to a misunderstood region, challenging outsiders to see Appalachia beyond stereotypes. Conclusion. Old Gods of Appalachia is more than a horror podcast. It is a narrative reckoning with the sins of the past and the resilience of those who endure. By intertwining Appalachian history with cosmic terror, Shell and Collins have crafted a story where the monsters are both ancient and all too human. The series invites listeners to confront the ghosts of exploitation, corporate, environmental, and cultural, while celebrating the strength of communities often dismissed or forgotten. In a genre saturated with jump scares and empty thrills, Old Gods stands as a testament to horror's power to illuminate societal truths. As the podcast's narrator often intones, we are all part of the family now, bound by the stories we share and the histories we dare to unearth.